opening up trade opportunities. By 2050, there'll be 2 billion more people on the face of the earth. And because of rising standards of living, we'll have to produce twice the amount of food. And so it's a huge opportunity for us. And so we want to take advantage of those. And that's why those trade opportunities are so important. About 30% of everything we grow here in Nebraska goes overseas.
How can a governor of Nebraska have an influence at the federal level, specifically on things like tariffs that we talk about every day as ag broadcasters, but our producers, it's right up there with property taxes. They're feeling the pinch.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things we want to see is these markets be opened up. And, for example, we've seen low commodity prices before the tariffs, but the tariffs in particular on soybeans in China and on ethanol, those things are really, damaging our ability to sell our products over in China. And one of the things we do as a governor is we go out and promote the state. So I just got back from a trade mission in Mexico a few weeks ago, but I've been to Japan twice, China twice, European Union, Canada. And what we do is when we promote our products, we can actually help create more demand. So for example, when I was in Japan last, we went to an Alexander Steakhouse to promote Nebraska beef. We went to the Sagami restaurant chain, who signed a letter of intent with Smithfield just to use Nebraska pork. And what we've seen since 2016, between 2016 and 2018, beef exports from Nebraska were up 27% and pork exports were up 17%. So we can help promote our great quality products by going overseas. And then by working with the administration and really having our voice be heard, and this administration is very accessible, you talk to them about how important agriculture is and how important it is to get those trade agreements. I was just at the White House a couple of weeks ago talking with Ambassador Lighthizer. He's our U.S. trade representative, about getting these deals done as quickly as possible. The Chinese had actually stayed a couple of days longer in their negotiations a few weeks ago, so they were feeling pretty positive about making progress on that. Japan talks are starting. And then finally, USMCA, that agreement between Mexico, the United States, and Canada, which has been so helpful to Nebraska. We need to get that ratified through the Congress, and it really needs to be made a priority by the Congress. Speaker Pelosi in the House, for example, needs to take this bill up and get it passed because it's a better deal for the American worker and it's a better deal for the American farmer. So I have actually been recently named to the White House's Trade Advisory Council. Now, I think because of the government shutdown earlier this year, my security background check got held up a little bit, so I haven't been approved for that yet. But again, the idea is that's another opportunity to have our voice heard with the White House about getting these trade deals done. And, it does matter. For example, when there were rumors that the administration was going to pull out of the U.S.-South Korean trade agreement, I called Ambassador Lighthizer's office on a Friday, and he called me back on a Sunday afternoon. So they care what we think. We have the opportunity to be able to express that to them. Obviously, we don't get into the details of what those trade agreements are, but the administration definitely cares what we think about as governors, and we express that opinion.